mean, the height that these people get leaping from obstacle to obstacle is absolutely insane. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Racing Show. Today, the AMA Supercross season is kicking off, so I wanted to take a little bit of a dive into what is it, when is it happening, where is it happening. So here is going to be everything that you need to know about AMA Supercross. All right, let's start off with what is AMA Supercross? So Supercross is a little bit different than the traditional motocross that some people might know, because motocross is raced on a natural terrain, outdoors, like over muddy, dirty, depending on the weather. And Supercross, the man-made obstacle course built on a playing field inside a stadium. AMA Supercross was founded by the American Motorcycle Association in 1974. Motocross originally came to the US in the 1960s, but it was quickly Americanized because it was actually brought into stadiums like baseball stadiums and football stadiums instead of being somewhere out like away from the cities in like a dirt patch. It was actually moved into the stadiums just to make it a little bit more accessible, so people have an easier way to get to watch motocross, and then also for everybody to have a more equal viewing experience, since in a stadium everybody gets to see the track, the whole track, and you have a nice viewpoint of it. So that's why it was Americanized, because it became more accessible and it made it immediately really popular starting in the 1970s. So that meant that they had to build the tracks from scratch. So they brought in all the dirt and they built all the obstacles, and it's kind of amazing how it looks. This season will kick off in Anaheim in the baseball stadium from the Anaheim Angels. They transformed that baseball stadium into a dirt track, and it looks really, really incredible. Starting gate has a minimum width of 80 feet. And the minimum length of the starting area is 120 feet. So once everybody accelerates, things will narrow down a bit. The racetrack usually is about 20 feet wide in its narrowest part, unless the narrow section will benefit the flow of traffic, such as in like dual lane turns and stuff like that. I can't wait to watch it. It's happening today at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You'll be able to watch it on Peacock or NBC if you're in the US. If you're anywhere else, just check out their website or YouTube. They'll definitely post the highlights pretty quickly afterwards, so stay tuned. Now, we already talked about what it is and where it's happening. When is it happening? So AMA Supercross specifically is happening in the beginning of the year. It happens from January to early mid-May. It will feature two different categories. We have the 450 cc's and then the 250 cc size bikes. The 450 cc has 17 rounds in this championship, and then 250 cc is divided into the East and the West Championship, which is each 9 rounds. So let's talk a little bit about the racing format of qualifying. So it's usually set up pretty similar to a short track motorcycle race. So you have 2 heats with approximately 21 riders, depending on how many qualify for the championship. And then the top 9 make it to the final from each of the heats. And then the remaining riders get to participate in a consolation race. So the consolation race is 5 minutes plus 1 lap. And then the top 4 of that consolation race make it also into the grand finale. So, okay, so now we talked about what, when, and where. We know a little bit more about the racing formats. So let me point out a couple of the most notable riders in history and also the winners of last year. So let's start off with the winner of last year is Chase Sexton. He won in the 450cc and he's American. And then the two 250cc winners are actually brothers. So we have Jet Lawrence, who won in the 250cc West. He's Australian. And then his older brother, Hunter Lawrence, won the 250cc East. And then I also want to point out two of the notable riders from history. We can't forget about the OG, the first one who ever won an AMA Supercross championship, who was Marty Tripes. He won the race at 16 years of age, which I think is incredible. And then we can't forget about, I would call him the GOAT. His name is Jeffrey McGrath. He is the one who has won the most, like he dominated the 90s. He started off winning 4 championships back to back. And then there was a little break of winning, but then he won another 3 championships back to back at the end of the 90s, making him 7-time champion, which is pretty incredible. Nobody else has been able to take that legacy away from him yet. And I'm sure it will be a minute until somebody can break that record. You probably want to know what you can get for winning. For the AMA Supercross, from what I saw online, in 2022, the winner made $12,000, and in 2023, the winner made $14,000. I did read online that there are some changes happening within the Supercross world. More money is becoming available to award to the winners. I'm not quite sure at this point exactly how it's divvied up between the different championships within Supercross, but I'm curious to find out, and we'll let you know in future videos. Now, you probably want to know, or maybe you're curious, how could you or any other person participate in an AMA Supercross championship? First of all, you need to be in good standing and have a membership, an active membership with AMA. Then you also need to qualify and earn a certain amount of points on the road, the AMA Road to Supercross. You have to have 4 points to qualify for the 250cc, and then eventually you'll qualify for the 450cc. On top of that, which I thought was really interesting, you only have to be 16 years old. So the minimum age is 16, which I think is quite young, but it's also not surprising seeing the ages on the current roster. For example, Chet Lawrence, who won the 250cc West last year, he was born in the early 2000s, and his brother, who won the East Championship, was born in 1999. So you can see they're all quite young, but if you can qualify, or if you're allowed to participate at the age of 16, it makes a lot of sense. But on top of that, you also have to get physically checked and also get a concussion check, just because it is a high-risk sport and they want to make sure that you're physically in good shape and it's safe for you to participate in the sport. But overall, I feel like it's more or less doable to participate in something like that. Of course, as long as you have like the sponsorships and the money and stuff like that. But from a logistical point of view, I feel like there's not too many obstacles. It's achievable, more achievable than some other racing sports for sure. I personally have not watched a full Supercross race yet. I've seen a bunch of highlights on either YouTube or Instagram, and I think it looks incredible. I mean, starting off with the 20 riders, going down that starting straight and then immediately into turns and different obstacles. I mean, the height that these people get leaping from obstacle to obstacle is absolutely insane. They sometimes, from what I've seen, they jump over each other, and in poor cases there can be quite the kerfuffle if somebody falls, and it's 20 riders on this tight space sometimes, so it can impede other racers if you're unlucky, but it also that makes it quite exciting. But I mean, it's a spectacle, especially seeing it in a stadium experience with thousands, hundreds of people. I can imagine that it's such an exciting and thrilling experience. I'm definitely want to go and take a look at it one of these days. I'm going to watch it today, like I said, on TV, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing it in person one day. I did look up the prices for this season's first race in Anaheim round 1, and the prices seem pretty reasonable. So the cheapest ones that I saw a couple days before the race were about $67 in like the upper kind of areas. But if you're somewhat familiar with the Angel Stadium, the views up there are still really nice. I mean, you have a view of the whole track. Yes, the riders might be a little bit smaller, but they have screens, and the stadium is not too large, but you'll probably get like caught up in the whole exciting experience, and you'll see it. I mean, there's also like pyrotechnics and stuff just to add a little bit more spectacle. I feel like that definitely fits with the Americanized saying that Supercross is, but I'm super excited to watch it. Are you going to watch it? Let us know in the comments below. And tell us your thoughts on the Supercross experience, or if you have any other things that you thought we maybe didn't cover about it, please let us know below. As I said, I've never seen it, so this is me just doing some research online, trying to figure out what Supercross is, so I have an idea going into my first watching experience. And yeah, let us know if we missed anything, if you have any thoughts that you wanted to share. And thank you again for watching. Remember to please like and subscribe. We really, really appreciate your support. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.